Hello and welcome to a special broadcast, the Oval Showdown on the ongoing India versus England Test Series. Well, it is day 2 of the high-stake Test Series at the Kennington Oval, and after 4 flat pitches, the Oval finally gave bowlers their moment. And India, despite losing the toss for the 15th time in a row, battled hard to reach the 204 for 6 by stumps.
And interestingly, Karun Nair, who is returning after over 3,000 days, played a gutsy, unbeaten 52 to revive his test dreams and recording his first 50 of the series. Whereas young Sai Sudarshan was no less. And on the other hand, Shubman Gill too continued his fine form before falling to a sharp run out just before rain stopped the play.
And England had their moments too. Gus Atkinson was sharp. Tunk's mixed brilliance with inconsistency, and Vokes looked threatening before injuring his shoulder late in the day, and now he is out of the series.
Yes, indeed. That's a big shock for Team England. And the pitch, if we talk about, it still has life. And day 2 could really set the tone for the rest of the match. Can India's lower order really stretch the total past 300? And can England bowlers tighten their lines? Remains to be seen.
And Deepika, the stage is set and the momentum is up for grabs. So let's dive into the Oval Showdown on DD India.
Well, India scored 204 runs for the loss of 6 wickets against England at stumps on day 1 of the 5th and final test of the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy at the Oval. Well, on a seam-friendly wicket, Shubman Gill lost another toss and India were put to bat in the overcast conditions. Indian openers Jaiswal departed early while KL Rahul failed to replicate his earlier heroics in the series. Brought in for Shardul Thakur in the playing 11, Karun Nair held the fort from one end as the 33-years-old walked to the crease at 83 for 3, with India having lost its skipper and batted with patience to bring up his first score above 50 since his triple hundred in Chennai in 2016. Now, Washington Sundar finished on a score of 19 off 45 balls, and they will resume on day 2 on an overnight partnership of 51 off 88 balls. On the other hand, for Team England, Gus Atkinson and Josh Tongue picked 2 wickets apiece, while Chris Vokes, who stands ruled out now, scalped 1 earlier. On only 64 overs were bowled on the first day despite extended play after rain caused an initial delay.
Now let's take a look at the highlights of the day 1 of the test match between India and England. And talking about the first one, the Karun Nair registered his first 50 of the series, and we also saw an unbroken partnership between Nair and Sundar help India to recover, and England struggled with consistency in this match. Pacer Josh Tongue claimed 2 crucial wickets, but his overall spell lacked control, and India scored 204 runs against England on day 1 at stumps. So it's looking like a good total right now, but it remains to be seen how the day 2 starts for India.
But the latest update says that England pace bowler Chris Vokes has been ruled out of the remainder of the decisive 5th test after suffering a shoulder injury on the opening day at the Oval. The all-rounder had to leave the field after landing awkwardly on his left shoulder while saving a ball hit to the boundary by Karun Nair on Thursday. Chris Vokes looked in visible pain yesterday as he walked off the field with his left arm wrapped in his sweater. Vokes' injury has added to the growing list of concerns for England, with the hosts now missing the services of several key players, including captain Ben Stokes, who's been ruled out with a shoulder injury, and now Chris Vokes as well, who's been ruled out.
Meanwhile, India's assistant coach Rantan Doshkote said that the Indian team management felt it was a right to honour the star pacer's call of playing only 3 of the 5 tests in the series and considering his workload. And with the series on the line, Indian captain Shubman Gill and head coach Gautam Gambhir waited till the last minute to take a call on Bumrah, who played the first test at Headingley, skipped the second match at Edgbaston and featured in the games at Lord's and Old Trafford. Speaking to reporters, after day 1 of the series deciding 5th test match against England, Doshkate said that it always a tough call leaving a player like Bumrah on the bench.
He did say he was going to play 3 games. He left it up to us which 3 he played. We've tried to manage the situation. It's not ideal. I guess giving those guys attention, the guys who aren't playing, particularly when you're carrying 18, is, in hindsight, you would have loved to have him here. But you would also have said if we come here 3-1 down that we didn't use him there. So it's trying to, not guess, but trying to look into the future and then try to see how we can manage him.
And now to get you more on this, I'm joined by Mr. Malay Neerav, the expert of the day, and also joining us is Abhishek Prasad, DD India sports correspondent. First of all, coming on to you, Mr. Malay Neerav, the biggest update that we are getting is that Chris Woakes has been ruled out. While this comes as a big blow for Team England, it's, I think, something to delight for Team India. How do you see this latest development as Mr. Neerav?
Yeah, it appeared only yesterday when I saw him in pain. It seemed as if he was not really going to be playing, and with his absence will be felt by the English team. But let me also tell you that that way both the teams have had their own problems. While you saw Ben Stokes out, you saw Jofra Archer out, you also saw Bumrah out, and now Oakes is not playing. So there is a problem. There is a problem there, and it is advantageous for India, no doubt about that. But then the way other bowlers are bowling and the way the weather conditions are, the sky is overcast. There is forecast for rains. If you look at the play yesterday, when the forecast skies were there, when there was some moisture, and also there were 6 millimeters of grass, green grass on the wicket, and you saw how Tongue, for example, was finding it difficult to find his line and length, but then the kind of deliveries that he actually played, I mean, he laid there, they were superb by any stretch of imagination. So under these conditions, the absence of one player may just take a little bit of fizz away from it, but it is not as if the batsmen are going to have a heyday there. No, it's not right to think that way. However, having said that, I'm also saying that his absence will be felt on both the sides. One will look at it as a positive development, perhaps, and the other, the English side, will miss him there.
Malay, considering the fact that, as you mentioned, the conditions are overcast, a 6 mm grass is there on the pitch, still the conditions are conducive for the bowling. And so in that scenario, what would be we can say the competitive total India should go here, considering the fact that it's a day 2 only?
Look, right now, I feel that both Nair and Sundar, and for Nair, mind you, it is his last chance after a gap of 3,200, nearly 3,200 days. When you are there to see a half century in your career, you are still playing against all odds. And therefore, if you have stood there and if you have brought India to this level where you are 204, then it is expected of you to last there a little longer. So if he lasts there, and Washington Sundar is also one player, as you all know, and we have all seen him in the last match, the way he plays and the way he has actually frustrated the English bowling side, I think both of them, if they stand there for some time and take the score somewhere near 300, I think it'll be a good total. It'll be a fighting total.
And when we talk about Karun Nair, let's go across to Abhishek Prasad as well. Abhishek, we've heard the story. We've seen Karun Nair struggling right from the fact that he was born as a premature baby to saving his own life once when he was going to a temple. He's seen a lot of challenges and made the comeback several times. And this test particular series was the opportunity for him because he himself asked for it. He said, "Give me another chance and I'll prove myself." And I think that 50 speaks a lot about about him when we talk about Karun Nayar's performance here, and he also hit fours here during the tour when he was making 50. How do you see Karun Nayar's comeback, his rise, and giving a befitting answer to all the critics who were really saying that Karun Nayar may not be the perfect fit for this crucial encounter, the fifth and final test against England, where India is eyeing to level the series, Abhishek?
Yeah, Deepika, surely life has given another opportunity to Karun Nayar, who, 4 years ago tweeted that give me one more chance, and he truly got that one chance in this test series, and his journey has been fantastic. I mean, in 2022, he was dropped from the Karnataka team, and he recently in an interview said that the 2022 phase was the toughest phase for his life after being dropped from Karnataka. From then, he joined Vidarbha, and then in this particular Vijay Hazare Trophy, India's domestic tournament, he was the highest run scorer. And then he joined county side also. He played cricket in English conditions. And then he, in this particular series, he batted at number 3, which is a very difficult position to bat. But all his life, he played at number 4 position. But here at number 5 position, he is counting his chance. He is playing. He has already scored 52, and he is looking very good. He has scored, a 50 after a gap of 7 years. He last played in 2000, beg your pardon, after 9 years. He last played in 2016, where he scored triple century against England. But then after that, he didn't got a chance in the Indian setup. He was dropped. And then now he was looking very mentally focused. His temperament was also very good. And now when God has given him an opportunity, he is proving that he can be a game changer for India. And this particular match situation where India has gone 6 wickets down, this is a perfect opportunity for him to cement his authority, to cement his place in the Indian team.
Definitely, as Abhishek mentioned, a lifeline for the Karun Nayar, because if you take a look in the previous 3 matches where he got a chance, the pitches were flat and conducive for the batting. But here at we can say the very, very green top, here scoring an important innings for his team, that too after 3,149 days, as Malay mentioned. Malay, but talking about Yashasvi Jaiswal, we know he started the series with a bang, scoring 100 in the first test match at Headingley. If you take a look in the Border Gavaskar Trophy too, he started that series at Perth with 100, but after that he could not replicate that thing. If you take a look, his scores in the past 2 matches, especially in the second innings, he was out for 0. So what really went wrong for this promising star?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Asking.
I thought you were talking to your colleague there. See, Yashasvi Jaiswal, if you look at the style that he has adopted in batting, he is the type who cannot be controlled, who doesn't know how to apply brakes on his normal style of batting. This is my own feeling about him. He's a very talented player. Nothing can take anything away from him. I'm reminded of Virender Sehwag also. Sometimes I remember when once the coach of the Indian team, Ray Chappell, was talking about Sehwag's style, etc. Sehwag said, that's one natural style, and at this age, it's very difficult for me to change. Test match is a different ballgame altogether. You don't only have to make runs, you have to stand there, you have to block, and you just have to be there. Now, that kind of a temperament, it takes time for people to develop. Everybody cannot be Shubman Gill. Yashasvi Jaiswal's temperament will be slightly better and changed, more suited to the test match over a period of time. This is my own feeling. Because some people have that knack of adapting to different styles and different forms depending upon the size or whether the match is a 20-over match or a 50-over match or a test match, they can adapt very fast. Some people take some more time. So I guess it's just a matter of time. Yashasvi, true to his namesake, his name's meaning, he is very meritorious. He can do wonders, but sometimes it doesn't always work the way you want it to be. Now, I also wanted to raise one small point about Karun Nair, that though Karun has played very well, he got the opportunity which he truly deserved, but you cannot take the credit away from Shubman Gill,
Indeed.
who reposed faith in Karun Nair,
Indeed.
who reposed
Right.
And
trust
Gautam
in
Gambhir
Karun,
as well. Yeah.
and brought him in place of Shardul Thakur.
Indeed, that has been quite a big decision. And when we talk about Shubman Gill and Gautam Gambhir, they've made so many changes, and one of them is Sai Sudarshan at number 3. Now his technique when he was just batting yesterday is being praised a lot, because he did the trick, because he's not used to such sort of condition. And when we talk about the oval, it is posing the toughest challenge that the English cricket brings to one's table when we talk about it. Now Sai Sudarshan's yesterday's technique and the kind of temperament that he's managed yesterday, how do you see him coming at number 3? Is he really justifying the position? Because that has also been one of the most talking points after releasing the playing 11 yesterday by Gautam Gambhir and Shubman.
Well, when the third position, number 3 position, is perhaps one of the most important positions, right? You cannot take any opener for granted, that he'll go there, he'll make runs, he'll stand there, and he'll stand there for a long period of time. The very fact that an opener tries to just stay there by making runs and by not trying to do too many things, no histrionics, nothing of that kind, he makes himself vulnerable, sometimes being overcautious. So batsman number 3 is perhaps the one who holds the key. And again, I'll use the temperament word. The temperament and the psyche of the batsman are very important. Whether you have understood the needs of the hour, whether you are going there. I'm reminded of a very old player called Mudassar Nazar in the Pakistan team. I remember he played for 1.5 days or more than that once, and he made just 31 runs. But he was standing there like the Rock of Gibraltar. Now, if you're holding one end and end of the fort, and so strongly as you can, then there are other players who come and go, and you don't get unnerved. You are there. Now, this is what Virat Kohli did. He made runs when nobody else was making runs, and he stood there when others were making runs, just watched them and saw them through. Now, Sai Sudarshan, I think Shubman Gill gave him this chance because he wanted to test his temperament. He wanted to test his psyche.
Right.
He wanted to see whether he was going to be there as a reliable one-end holder who can stay there for a long period of time and support others or not. So I guess this is a time when some of these experimentations will be done. Who will play number 3, who will play number 4, etc. And this is how Sai Sudarshan has been tested. And I think he has got the mettle, and I'm sure he will be found very useful in times to come.
Right, as you mentioned that if number 3 spot is a very important. If you take a look, it's a conundrum for the India. In the past, Rahul Dravid was here at the number 3. After that, Cheteshwar Pujara. But since the Doordarshan Trophy, we saw that it's the first time a number 3, that is Sai Sudarshan, has scored a 50 for India. So in the meantime, we used Devdutt Padikkal for the first test in Perth, and after that Shubman Gill also came there, but nothing worked for India. Now Sai Sudarshan is working that, as Malay mentioned. Abhishek, coming to you now, talking about this match, as now Chris Woakes is out of the match, and already England has an inexperienced pace attack. Already they are veterans. Ben Stokes is not there, Jofra Archer is not there. So do you think in that scenario their second pace battery is working there? Do you think India has an upper hand in this match right now, Abhishek?
I still think England's bowling attack is still very formidable because the way Gus Atkinson was bowling yesterday, he was getting a lot of seam and swing. Although Josh Tung's balls were not on the line, but Gus Atkinson was getting a lot of movement and he was troubling the Indian batters a lot. The way he dismissed Sai Sudarshan was one of a ripper delivery to Sudarshan and to Ravindra Jadeja also. So the conditions are still overcast and the bowlers are still extracting a lot of bounce after hitting the deck. And it will be very crucial for the Indian batting to take out the next 1 hour before the lunch. The first hour will be very crucial for the Indian batting. Given the line of attack that England bowlers have in Gus Atkinson and the other bowler in fact. So England still have a lot of upper hand because India has to score 300 because this is the last test match. If India fails to score 250, then I still think that England has a upper hand in the test match because you have Ollie Pope, you have Harry Brook still in that lineup who has played already 4 test matches and they have a habit of scoring big hundreds, big runs. So I think India have still a lot of work to do.
And there is an update coming in. Jasprit Bumrah has been ruled out of the Test series. This is the official statement which has come in. We were talking about the workload management. Now the official statement on Bumrah has come and he's been released off the ongoing 5th match series against England in the 5-match series, and this is the latest statement that says. Now coming on to you, Mr. Malay Neerap, as we were talking about, and Abhishek was saying that India needs to hit 300, but when we talk about the Oval, it has been a history, it has been the records that say that at the Oval, the score line has been between 260 and 300. Now considering the fact that the playing 11 for India has got 3 seamers, are they really enough? Or one more seamer would have really done the trick for Team India, Mr. Neerap?
No, see, there are 2 things here that I would like to say. A, that 300 will be quite a decent score, quite a decent score for the Indian team. So 260, 270, 280, ideally, if they have crossed the 300 mark, then the challenge is formidable for the English team. There's no doubt about that. I've seen the Oval ground. I've seen so many matches on the ground. I think 300 would be quite a decent score. That's number 1. Number 2, about Indian bowling. See, don't forget that the last to bat will be the Indian team, right? Now, I don't think that on this wicket, the English spinners will have many very important role to play. So how are our bowlers going to perform? I'm sure that Siraj and all the others in the pace battery of India, they will try to create problems for the English team as well when they start batting, because today's weather conditions that I was looking at, I was just seeing before joining your program, at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, there is forecast local time, British time, there's forecast for rains. So if the rains are there and the sky is still overcast, and if India is not able to cross that, what you call 300 mark, or gets out, say, somewhere around 260, 270, then it will be difficult for England also to score under these conditions. So to me, it would appear the match is quite evenly poised. Till now, we cannot say that it is tilting in favor of England or India or any of the 2 teams.
Rightly said, as the match is right now poised, as Malay mentioned, and how the India approaches the day to it remains to be seen. As Malay mentioned that the conditions are overcast and still there will be difficulty to bat because there is a grass on the pitch and the conditions are overcast. So we are hoping that India will look to play more and more overs so that they can reach near 300. But there is a Jasprit Bumrah conundrum also. The previous show once we were discussing with Malay that the absence of Bumrah, but at that point in time Malay said we have also won the matches without Bumrah, and the next test match we won in Edgbaston, that was without Bumrah. So that was a great analysis by you. But Abhishek, coming to you, talking about Bumrah, as reports are coming, they are suggesting that BCCI is not happy with the pick and choose policy of the Bumrah because it is hampering the team's cause, and because if you suddenly changes the team combination, the chopping and changing of players, it impacts the players. So how do you take a look to this philosophy, this approach of BCCI to just make a stop on this policy of Jasprit Bumrah?
Narayan, Jasprit Bumrah has been a very big asset for Indian team. He has carried on the flag. He has been the leading pace bowler for Indian team for quite a long time in all the three formats. And this particular series, coming into this particular series, he has already informed the management before the start of the series that he's available for only 3 tests. Given the last series, the Border Gavaskar series, the way he was injured going into the 5th test, his physio has advised that he has to manage his workload pretty well. But in this particular series, he was very criticized because he missed those 2 matches in this series. Once the second test match he missed, so he was very criticized by fans and pundits also that Jasprit Bumrah has to play matches. He has to do it for the team. But then BCCI's the policy that the news is coming in that they will review Bumrah's situation, how to manage his workload, because if there is a 5-match test series, then it's become very crucial for the team management to choose players, because there are a lot of other bowlers who are also sitting on the sideline, and it becomes very important to plan a series, because India can't afford to lose series or to draw a series in overseas conditions. They have not won any matches in overseas, if you see Australia series or if you see any New Zealand series. So talking about Bumrah, yes, he's a very asset for the Indian team, but there is a team is above than any individual player.
Team combination is also important for the any team.
Indeed. And also how you are managing the entire pressure, the pressure distribution, the temperament is all the most important when we talk about this very crucial match, because we've seen how Shubman Gill is handling, but there are more records awaited for Shubman Gill in its kitty, and we really wish him luck. And let's see how both the team play this really tough encounter, and both the teams are really hopeful of a positive outcome. Thank you so much, Mr. Malay Nirav. I think sir wants to make a point here. We just have 30 seconds.
Short comment.
Sure, please go ahead.
No one except the player knows whether he is fit enough to bowl or bat or not.
Right.
And if Bumrah says he can only bowl in 3 matches, you can't expect him to bowl. And you can find 100 players in India.
All right.
Even today, you can find 20 on the benches, but you cannot find anybody to replace Bumrah. Bumrah is the best in the world. If
Indeed,
Archer
sir.
can be asked to sit by the English team.
Indeed, sir.
and brought
All right.
back,
We have a paucity of time.
Bumrah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Malay Nirav, and thank you so much, Abhishek, for joining us and bringing us a rounded perspective in the middle of this ongoing, very crucial India versus England 5th test match. Thank you so much for joining us. Namaskar.
Namaskar.